Guys talk a lot about go bags for active shooter situations or general emergencies in the police and public safety sector. But if we were realistic about the needs that we might have in emergencies, we'd find that in an urban area, most of our problems would be better served with a go plate carrier than a bag. All right, man, take a seat, buckle up. Ordinarily, we'd start with orientation of the car here, but we got calls pending, and we got to get to them. So, we're rolling. We're going to have to learn on the... So if we're honest with ourselves, in an urban environment, there's a few things that we need, and then a lot of things that might or might not help us. Now, what we have to realize is that when we're bringing extra stuff with us, everything we bring adds weight. And so ideally, we'd like to pare it down to the most important things and the things we're least likely to be able to scrounge up on the fly, least likely to be provided by our agency or the other people with us or the environment around us, and most likely to need immediately and without warning. So there's 4 basic things that we need, and when we need them, nothing else really is going to do. The first one, in a critical incident or an active shooters type of situation that we're going to need more than anything else, is ID. You don't have to look far to find situations where guys caught blue on blue fire, where somebody that's not in a complete uniform, or even sometimes uniformed officers, can be mistaken as offenders when they come on scene, and some instances where offenders were mistaken for uniform officers. We want to ID ourselves as best that we can. The second is emergency medical equipment. Now, mine is still attached in use in the field, so this will represent that. You should always have emergency medical equipment on you in the form of a tourniquet. I keep a tourniquet on my duty belt. Check here for more information about my duty belt setup. On top of your tourniquet, when you talk about going to an active shooter or a critical incident, you want to have a pressure dressing and anything else that you might be trained specifically to use, or that other people responding with you may be trained specifically for you to use. I like to keep at least an extra tourniquet, a pressure dressing, rubber gloves, chest seals, and some sort of hemostatic agent like Celox on my emergency equipment. Everything else that's in there is extra that might be able to be handed off to paramedics or medics that are on the scene, or used by medical personnel who are there. The third thing is extra ammunition. Now, I carry an AR-15 for work at most of my jobs, and on it I have clamped together 2 30-round mags. That gives me 60 total. I can carry, the more ammunition I can carry, the better, up to a point. We have to ask ourselves, what is the likelihood of us needing the extra ammunition versus how much does it weigh? Each loaded AR-15 mag weighs about a pound. So every one of these that I carry is an extra pound. So while it might be nice to have 10 magazines, what's the likelihood that we're really going to need those 10 magazines in comparison with what's the likelihood that we're going to need medical equipment, ID, or more importantly, what's the likelihood that instead of extra ammunition, we're going to need additional protection in the form of rifle plates. Now, what rifle plates provide us that a lot of people don't talk about is impact protection. On top of stopping rifle rounds, if you go up against somebody that's armed with a handgun or a shotgun and you get hit in the rifle plate, it's going to do a lot less trauma to your body than if you just took it in your soft body armor. Now, modern rifle plates like this polyethylene one, this only weighs about 3.5 pounds. This is gray Ghost Gear level 3. So instead of having 10 magazines, if I had a bag, if I have a plate carrier, I can carry extra protection, which I'm more likely to need, for the cost of 6 magazines. So in the same weight that it would take to carry 8 of these, I can have 2 of these and 2 of these, protecting me from rifle fire and allowing me to stay in the fight if I take handgun rounds center mass. Now, in a tactical environment, gear selection is all a matter of what do you gain versus what do you lose. With a plate carrier, you gain protection and you gain ID. With a go bag, you would gain a lot of cargo capacity, but we have to ask ourselves whether that cargo capacity is capacity that we would use, and whether we're going to put things into that cargo capacity that we're likely to need, or if we're just filling it up with things that we may need that wouldn't really be mission critical. Now, some guys solve this problem by having both a go bag and a plate carrier. Now, here's the caution that I'll give you with that. I don't know about you, but I've weighed my duty gear, my normal duty gear, my vest, my belt, the extra ammunition, my tourniquet, my pistol, the handcuffs, the taser, the baton, all of that comes in at about 34 pounds. This plate carrier comes in at 12 pounds, and if you were to fill a gear bag, most guys have a bag with 10 to 20 pounds worth of equipment in it, with water and food. All of that weighs a lot. If you have your normal duty gear on and then throw this on top of it, because remember this only covers a small area from rifle and handgun fire, you'd still want to wear your soft body armor if you're wearing this, and you still need your duty belt if you're wearing this. And then you throw another go bag over your shoulder or on your back, you're talking to 60 pounds of extra equipment. Now, that's a significant amount. We don't want to overload ourselves to the point that we can't fight, we can't move, and we can't move for distance without getting winded. You start talking 50, 60 pounds, that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight for most 19-year-old men. That's what people carry backpacking. It's an awful lot if you're talking your average 30 to 50-year-old cop or security guard. So let's take a good hard look at the plate carrier and how I have it set up, so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from with it. To start with, the plate carrier has two level 3 polyethylene plates that I bought from Grey Ghost Gear. I got all this at one time. I don't get paid anything by Grey Ghost Gear. They don't give me anything for it. I bought all of this equipment. It's just where I found I could get what I needed at a decent price for me. What attracted me to this particular carrier is that it has a place for ID. It has MOLLE from bottom to top. The Velcro is even MOLLE'd here. And it has a quick connect buckle with quick adjustments. And bungee on the side. So what this allows me to do is to keep one side of this open, and when I throw the plates on, I can clip, tighten, and go, and it'll flex a little bit with me when I move. The one problem that I found with the one from Grey Ghost Gear is that the ends will slide through the adjuster on its own, so you take it out of the car and then you have to thread it back through. So I just tied a knot in the end. Really low-tech solution for what probably would have added a lot of cost to the price of the carrier. It also has adjustable top straps that are really low-tech. I don't need any padding on the top of the carrier or on the sides of the carrier because I'm putting this on over my soft body. I've got additional ID front. I also put my department star, a patch of my department star up here. I took that off for the video because I don't speak for my agency. And I put a larger patch that says police on the back. Now these are important if you're in some type of critical situation, especially if you're in soft clothes or if you have a uniform that already doesn't have a large ID panel on it. My department uniform doesn't have large ID panels on the back or on the front. We still have an older school, I guess you could say, patch and our name tape, and then a department patch on one side. Studies have shown that the best place to wear badge or ID is centered on your body, because when someone looks at you to see if you're a threat, that's where they're likely to be looking to see if you have a weapon, is centered on your body, and that's where it's most likely to be picked up. If you've got ID over on the top area of your chest where we normally put badges, or down on your belt where you would normally hook a badge, that badge or that ID is less likely to be seen. So it's good that if you're going into a situation that you already know is going to be tense, to have ID clearly visible from long distance, centered on your body, front and back, the way I have here. I also have 2 magazines loaded with duty ammunition, AR-15 magazines, because that's what I carry. I used to carry a shotgun, and I had shotgun shell pouches on this. And I have my medical kit, which I have marked as a medical kit, and it's quick release. I got this from ITS Tactical. Again, I purchased everything that you see here. I just happen to like that this slim boy, I think it's called, kit, I'll annotate it. This slim kit from ITS Tactical takes up the same amount of space as one double stacked rifle magazine pouch, so it fits really well on a nice slim kit like this. And it's rip open. I might do a review just on this later. I really like this med pouch. So when all is said and done, what I have is extra ammunition, medical equipment, ID front and back, and hard armor protection from rifle fire and better trauma protection from handgun or shotgun fire that I can throw on in an instant when I go to get my rifle. So if you think you need a go bag, you may want to give serious consideration to getting a go plate carrier, which will provide you more protection and the immediate necessities you need without all of the extra stuff that you don't. I think it's a good trade-off. Well, if you like that video, go ahead and subscribe, because there's a whole lot more to come. As soon as I finish up these calls, go 10-8. County 291.